there's my more general cynicism around sort of the spectacle of activism. Sometimes I'm like, is this just now the cool thing to do? Is this so everybody can have their I was in a tent for 10 days, thing? One of my children is outside. She's a college student. She's on one of these major campuses. She's out there, and I went and visited her out there, and there are people who are organized and engaged, and then I see people who very clearly they're taking selfies, and it's just the thing it's just where everybody is. This is the cool thing to do on campus. You know what I'm saying? And that's not in and of itself a bad thing, but I'm not sure what to make of it. Help me make sense of it.
And yeah, so we did a teach-in today at Harvard, and one of the things that I tried to raise was keep coming back to what your demands are. And so, I asked the crowd of students who are at the teach-in, like, what are your demands? And, some people repeated what the demands were, but and I also told them, like, you're not here to kick it for Palestine, right? This is not that, right? This is a time, like, if you are a petty bourgeois or a bourgeois student, this is an opportunity to commit class suicide, to join an organization, right? To really, to double down on your commitment to anti-Zionism and to anti-imperialism. And to me, it's more about being clear. It's more about clarity. It's like, if you are there to kick it until graduation, just be clear about that, and don't make it seem like it's something that it's not, right? Don't make it seem like you're being a revolutionary in training. To me, it's like, make sure your strategies fit what your demands are. And so to me, something I've been sort of mindful of is, like, what are the actual sort of what seem like the concrete demands that are actually achievable? If you're like, we're not leaving until XYZ, well, what's actually possible? And then do you actually have a sustainable plan to not leave? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I think there is a combination of organization and sort of spontaneous or like ad hoc approaches that I think is indicative of people who are just joining movement, and in combination with people who may have been radicalized in the 2020 moment or earlier. And so you have a little bit of everything. And so, like I said, when I began, like, I'm ambivalent about it. I am not necessarily somebody of the perspective that we should just be doing something. I feel like doing something, just anything, can be a base of distraction, right? Can be a source of mollification and of diffusing energy, right? I also think that, something that I was thinking about, which actually is happening in Philadelphia, it seems, is like, we have all of these individualized encampments at different schools. There's a lot of schools at Boston, like, where, having a mass showing might be a bit more effective, especially against like police repression, than these individual encampments. So to me, I'm doing a wait and see thing, right? Around Du Bois said in Black Reconstruction, right, that once the Civil War kicked off, enslaved Africans, they wait, and they waited, and they observed, and they kind of saw it. So that's sort of where I am at this point. I think there is a lot of room for the news cycle to push the actual question at hand of genocide, of mass murder, out of the news cycle through a focus on student, not only the encampments, but also the repression. And then this raises the question of, like, do people only care about this moment because it is petty bourgeois students who are being brutalized by the police? Because there's even less attention on, like, the working class schools, right? It's more so like Harvard and Emory and these other types of places. And so, but like they say about the classroom, every student is a potential comrade. I think every participant in this uprising, in this insurgency, whatever you want to call it, some are calling it the student intifada. I think every participant is a potential organizer, and a potential true voice for disrupting what's happening right now in Palestine. So again, the best way I can describe it is I'm ambivalent about it.